What's up, guys? Welcome to the 2022 award season show for Man's Hour. I'm pre-recording the show and testing out new audio and stuff like that, so things might sound a little different. So definitely leave me some comments in the chat, and I'll take a look at that. I'll be traveling for New Year's this year, so no live show this Thursday. So just wanted to get a pre-record in here and just kind of do like a year in review, as it were. This account is just blown up beyond all my wildest dreams. This year, we started the podcast Man's Hour earlier this year. The Twitter account, at the beginning of the year was not even 300 followers. Now we're up to 2,700. At this point, and it's just been wild, man. The connections and the people I've talked to and the friends I've made and everything. I mean, it really just is wild, man. It's very humbling experience. So I thank all of you guys for listening and sticking around and everything like that. It's you guys definitely make the show possible. So what I want to do here is just start off by taking a look basically at the whole show, basically the history and everything. So pretty much what I wanted to do here, it's kind of, some guys that might be new here, might be new to the channel, might be new to all the work and everything. I kind of just wanted to do like like an award show. Imagine like the Academy Awards of, the RedHawk channel and everything like that for the past year or so. So basically, I mean, we're just looking at my channel right here, with all the live episodes and everything like that. And then we'll go into like the videos and stuff afterwards as well. But basically what I wanted to start off with is just kind of go through a bunch of these, and any of the ones that really, really stick out to me, are the ones I'd recommend to you guys. If you haven't listened to them, if you, want to check out, you want like a kind of a guide to the channel, as it were, so that's kind of what I'm going for here. So first of all, I mean, episode 1 of Man's Hour, of course, was on Academic Agent's channel. Yeah, good friend of mine. Definitely, he gave me my start in the whole internet sphere and everything like that, which is just totally wild. I mean, those of you guys who've been here since the beginning will know that, I've been a member of AA's audience for a very long time. And then, God, it was like 2 years ago now, he wanted to tackle the woman question, of course. And I just messaged him on Twitter and was like, hey, I think you're missing something here. And he had me on, and the rest is history, basically. So it's crazy, man, just thinking back on it. So episode 1 of Man's Hour, if anyone remembers, was called On Vice. And that it was a pretty good panel. It was AA, myself, Lambda, and Semiagog. We had a good balance of guys on there just talking about Vice and everything like that. Should you indulge in it? Do you think men should partake in it? Do you think it's a good thing? All these kinds of things. And that was a very good show. We definitely hit the ground running on that one. That was one of the ones that sticks out to me. The highest viewed Man's Hour episode is actually episode 2 on Roe versus Wade. And, this kind of just came out right after the decision that dropped back in, what was it, like May or something like that? Or, it must have been like May or June or whenever the hell it was. It seems like so long ago. But yeah, that was the one that really caught it, kind of just caught the algorithm there. And that was actually a really good episode too. We had a very good deep dive. Ferris Pertinax was on there, and Praise of Folly, and one of my buddies, Red Hammerhead, was on there as well. And we did a pretty good, breakdown of the whole decision and everything like that. So, I mean, not so relevant now because, it's just a rank punditry, as we like to say. But, so if that one just really caught it. People really wanted to learn about Roe v. Wade and stuff like that. And that was a pretty good one. We don't do too much rank punditry on this show. We kind of do like a deeper, political analysis or masculine topics and stuff like that. We don't really delve too much into current events. There's only like a couple of Man's Hour episodes that are really about current events specifically. So that was episode 2. And episode 3 was, of course, the 4th of July special. And that was with, let's see, if I remember that panel correctly, Charlemagne was on there, and Pete Quinones was on there. And let's see who else is here. Does it give me a picture? No, it's not going to give me a picture. Paul Fahrenheit. I think Raging Mandrill was also on there as well. So a bunch of our American friends, we just kind of just talked about the, 4th of July, things we like to do. And just what 4th of July means to us and everything. And that was a good one too. I remember that one had some audio troubles and everything like that, and I was screwing around with trying to fix everything in um, post production, which was a pain in the ass. But this is still back when back at this time I still hadn't narrowed down what time I wanted to have the show on. I hadn't like picked a time I wanted to have it yet, and then I ended up settling on Thursdays, to not interfere with like other you know cabal members, basically, to stream snipe people, anything like that. So kind of found my spot, 7 o'clock on Thursdays. So it's that's pretty much been stable at this point. I think Man's Hour 4 on Tits or Ass, which was the first appearance of my buddy Sixer. We did that one, and this one, aside from the Roe v. Wade one, is the number one viewed Man's Hour episode, is on Tits and Ass, which it's only fitting, to be honest. Everyone's always going to click on the nice ones with the tits and the ass. So it's a great conversation that will always be had amongst men. So and that was a fun one. The very good conversation that we had. I'd recommend this one. I'd recommend On Vice. That was a good one. The 4th of July one was okay. I think there's different things I want to do for next year, for the 4th of July next year, to make that one go smoother. But so let's see what else we got here. And then, all right. So what I kind of wanted to do was that I wanted to tackle like stray topics on the side, that weren't, big, big meta subjects and everything like this, or an interview style show. So I decided to have this other one on the side, Tales of the Game, which I'm going to do more of. I really like it. It's kind of like more of my spur of the moment ideas and streams, and more into deep diving. It's definitely more so of like the Manosphere Red Pill topics. It's definitely what the Tales of the Game is meant to be. And these first two that me and Judicialist did back to back, there's definitely some good stuff in there. I would definitely structure things differently now than when I did like 5 or 6 months ago, but there's still definitely some good stuff in there that you guys can look into. A lot more of like a relationship and marriage red pill tactics and everything like that. And we meant to do more of these, but the year just got taken away and all that stuff. And it's definitely something I want to do more of, though. And I'm going to have to think about how I want to structure those a little bit differently. I think those shows were a little too long. I like to do them a little bit shorter, trying to keep them a little bit more bite-sized. But, we're still experimenting with things about how I want to do everything. But these are definitely more topics I'm going to return to in the future. So, I mean, maybe go and catch these, but I think in the future I'm going to do more work on them. Let's see. And then episode 5 of Man's Hour. Oh, yeah, we had Maven on. Praise of Folly made a return. And Closington. Yeah, Closington came on that show. That was a good one. What Men Want. Yeah, that was a good one. That one was definitely like a kind of like a deep. Yeah, that one was definitely like a deep thinking episode, I seem to recall. We really got down into the meat of it, of masculinity and what men want and all these kinds of things. I think that was a really, really good one. I'm gonna actually go back and re-listen to that one again, because I seem to recall there's some really, really good points made in that one. I'll have to go listen to it again. And then I kind of did 2 back-to-back episodes of Tales of the Game here. I did one on the first day, and this is kind of what I want to do in the future with these things. I don't really want to keep them like an hour or so long. It's kind of what Man's Hour is for. This like 15-minute, 20-minute interval, of Tales of the Game here on the first day. And in this one, I kind of just ran down what I like to do when I take chicks on a first date. What are the things I'm looking for? What's my routine? Where I like to go? These kinds of things. I think this is far more of the helpful kind of content that I want to do with Tales of the Game. So that's something I'm going to be looking forward to in the next year here, that I want to do. And of course, the top G himself, Andrew Tate, exploded, throughout this year. And of course, I had to address the topic. And in that episode of Tales of the Game, I kind of went into I guess you could call it like the good, the bad, and the ugly of Andrew Tate, because I don't know if you guys listened to the we'll get to this later, but on the Christmas show of Man's Hour last week, Sixer came on. We were actually discussing Andrew Tate quite a bit towards the back half of that show. I think it was the last half hour or so. We were basically talking about Andrew Tate exclusively. And, I laid out pretty much the same ideas that I had in this video here. And yeah, it was definitely a good one for sure. Like you guys can go back and listen to it if you haven't listened to this one. But there's stuff to like about Tate. There's a lot to hate about him, and there's a lot that I'm still kind of indifferent towards. We could say it's like I think there's other people that do things better. But let's see now. And then I guess I'll just tackle these two at the same time here. We did two like historical streams exclusively this year on Man's Hour, and I called them base historical moments. And we kind of just had a panel of guys come on there each time. I think Price of Folly was on for both of those, and then God, who else was on these? I think Raging Mandrill was on one of them, and then maybe American Populist. I don't remember. These streams. They were like definitely historical ones. I remember we talked about the conquest of Mexico by Cortez on one of them. We were talking about Davy Crockett. We were talking about the American frontier, colonialism, all these kinds of things. I think we talked about Hannibal and Alexander the Great in a couple of them as well. So these are kind of just like hodgepodge historical streams where we were just talking about like really cool things that we enjoy throughout history. And if you're just looking for like a kind of like a history podcast to listen to sometimes, I think there's some good tidbits of info in there for sure. And then let's see. What I did next was the first ever a solo episode of Man's Hour. It was kind of a topic I came up with the last minute because I forget which one I wanted to do that week. It might have actually even been on male friendships, but I had a cancellation, so I had to move that back a couple of weeks. And I just came up with this one like right on the spot. And obviously, I really enjoy Western movies. I think the stream is it's kind of like a sleeper stream in all like the Man's Hour ones. That wasn't a very popular one. Funny enough, TR Hudson, our buddy, commented on the stream afterwards. He's like, dude, I'm really, really into Westerns, and you should have me on next time. And this is kind of like the intro that TR Hudson had into my content. And then he eventually came on Man's Hour 17, Myths, Legends, and the Hero's Journey. And that was a good one too, with Semi-Agog was on there as well. And then I think Raging Mandrill came out again as well for that one. And that was a good show for sure. Let's see now. So Westerns, kind of just went through a bunch of the really, really good Western movies that are personal favorites of mine that really stick out really well. So if you guys are looking into, some Western movies, with like Clint Eastwood and everything, go check out that. I give some good summaries of some of my favorites there. And then the second most viewed Man's Hour episode, aside from like the Roe v. Wade one, which, it's not very like, I don't like talking about that one too much because it's not like timeless. One of the things I really want to make with these Man's Hour episodes is I want to try to keep them to be like very like timeless topics. It's things you can always go back to, not too much like current events or anything like that. And guns. This gun one obviously was a hit for us. I might want to address this topic again because even though this one was really popular, I would have liked to structure things a little bit more differently on this one. This was still when I'm still like trying to find my footing, on this one. And I would have liked to do things differently. I would have liked, first of all, to have like some clips shown in there and everything like that. Videos and audio in the background and everything, and maybe have a bigger panel for this one as well. I think it was only me and Populist, and I think Raging Mandrill again, just on the three of us here. But this is just such a rich topic, and there's so many different angles on this issue that I'm not like an expert on by any means. I would really like to actually get a like an army guy on or something like that, or somebody else who specializes very much in like military weapons and everything like that. I think that would have been way more interesting because most of the time when I come from these things, it come from like a hunting angle, is my main attack vector for tackling the gun issue, because that's primarily what I use firearms for. I mean, obviously, I'm a concealed carry holder and I carry every single day, and I do have multiple weapons, obviously, but I think we could have done a little bit more with this one. But who knows? We might return to this topic at some point again. And let's see. Number 10. Sixer made a return with this one. He actually made the thumbnail for this one too, but don't tell him that because the man needs zero praise at all. Absolutely not. We bring him on the show for comic relief. And this one was kind of an interesting one. So Sixer and I, obviously, we've known each other for a decade now, and we routinely would just have like these, kinds of conversations very similar to the one we had on this stream. We'll just have them like in our everyday lives. Basically, we'll just call each other up on the phone and we'll just shoot the shit for like a half hour or something and have these conversations. And I just kind of told him, I was like, hey, why don't we just like record one of these one day and see what happens with it? And I think this one is actually, it's a sleeper show as well. Not a very good thumbnail, not very catchy, and not a very good title. I think a lot of people weren't really drawn to this one, but I think I think this one's actually a pretty good one. We got into some deep topics about what we look for women in like relationships and everything like that, and some of like the really essential qualities that we really enjoy and everything. And it was just a good like classic locker room talk conversation, between two guys back and forth and everything. And yeah, that one's really good. I would definitely recommend that one. I don't think it's one that a lot of people listen to. I'd recommend that one. I think that was pretty good. And then about this time, I decided to do another playlist here, because as you guys know, I'm really really big into hunting. It's my other really big pet project that I really enjoy. And obviously, I want to get some guys out there and do some guided hunts in the coming years here in our community. So that's something I'm going to be working on definitely next year. I'm hoping for next fall to do some kind of wild boar hunt. I'm thinking about hosting it down in Texas. I'm not entirely sure about any of the details yet, but that's going to be a big project for me next year. So be on the lookout for that. But basically, with these Tales of the Great Outdoors streams, they're basically me just going through and reading um, pieces on my Substack. And basically, kind of what I did with my Substack, which again I also started earlier this year, but we'll tackle that in a little bit here. I mixed it in with like some political pieces and red pill topics, and then of course some of my hunting topics as well. And I've so far in the Substack I've written 3 pieces. I've got like 6 other ones that are like half finished right now. I have this really horrible habit on Substack of writing between my work with Old Glory Club and obviously my own stuff. I have like 6 things that are half written, and I just really need to focus on them and put it all together and then just put it out there. But I'm kind of scatterbrained when it comes to my writing. But yeah, so all 3 of these great outdoor streams are just me kind of like reading almost like an audiobook of the Substack piece. And so I definitely recommend that you guys go and listen to these, because there's some really amazing stories to be told in these ones, and only more going to come. So definitely go and listen to all 3 of these. Some of my favorite stuff for sure. And then next, what we've got right here is Man's Hour 11 on male friendships. And this is when Not Me, Not You joined me, first time guest on Man's Hour. And this, I think right off the top of my head, I mean, there might be some more that I'm forgetting, and when I look at it up here, but I think this is my favorite episode of Man's Hour. I think this is the best one we've done so far. This one is like really, really good. I think this is probably, unless I change my mind by looking at these again and they come to my mind as I scroll up here a little bit more, this is probably the gold medal for the year. On male friendships, I think is the best show that we've done this year. It's really, really good. The conversation flowed really, really well. There was very good points tossed back and forth. This one really, really stands out to me as probably the best of the year. So if you have not listened to this one on male friendships, of all the ones I've said so far, definitely go and listen to this one, because I think this one is definitely the winner for the year on this one. And then we kind of had a chill stream to follow up the week after of this really, really good one of male friendships. I had Time Stealer and Prudentialist. Those 2 guys came on, and we talked about fishing, of course, which is something that all 3 of us really enjoy. And that was fun. We were kind of just relaxing. It was interesting to see the dynamic between Time Stealer, who of course is in the UK, and then Prudentialist, who's in the South, and I'm in the North in America. And we were just talking about the different kinds of fish that we catch, the different fishing techniques, and just encouraging people to get into this sport that we all love. So if you had not listened to On Fishing, it was a good one. If it's something that piques your interest, for sure. And then the next week after that was on military service, and then 99 Iron Duke. You guys have probably seen him a bunch in AA's chat and a bunch of our other guys. He's a great dude, military veteran, lives down in Australia, and I basically had him on. I wanted to have him on for a while because he was generous enough to have me on his stream a couple of times, and he's got some great insights. And I wanted to talk about just military service. Is it something that guys should still get into? What is it like to be in combat? What's it like to be in war? What's it like to take life? I think this one is also another sleeper show as well. I think this was a pretty good one. Wasn't one of the most popular shows, but I think there's some good topics that were addressed in this one as well. And let's see, keep on going up here. Let's see, what were the other videos? Oh yeah, Thanksgiving is next one. Okay, and yeah, here we go. So then couple more Tales of the Game ones. And right here we had came here for an argument. So this happened a couple months back when Dave Dave the distributist and I had kind of a back and forth on Twitter, and this was just a after action report basically of me describing the situation and what I what I thought about the different points that were being made and everything like that. So you know it's always tough when you're having these kinds of conversations with trads because uh, we're just speaking two different languages, and it's difficult when uh, it's difficult when you're not sharing the you know number one, Twitter is already like a shitty medium for exchanging ideas, and then mix that in with the fact that we're using different terminology, we're using different definitions of words, we're playing word games with each other, we're getting back and forth, we're trying to figure things out. The threads are hard and difficult to follow because it's Twitter and it's a pain in the ass. So I mean, I'm going to continue going back and forth with trads on this question, and it's just going to continue to be something that's brought up, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, it was a breakdown of the issues here and everything like that, and I'm sure I'll have more conversations with Dave and many other people in the future here. So let's see, and then we went back to rank punditry on Man's Hour here. Let's see, what was it, episode 2? Yeah, Roe v. Wade. So it took us 12 episodes later, so basically 3 months later, we finally returned to rank punditry and current events, and we tackled the dating app, the right stuff, the conservative dating app, and we kind of talked about dating app culture and everything. And this was a good show as well. We brought up the issues as to why something like this just simply isn't going to work for the reasons that many in our circles think it is. And we had a good time on there. We were laughing, we were making jokes. This was a good one, even though I'm not like the biggest fan of like current events on this kind of panel show. I thought it was important for us to address, and I think this one actually was pretty fun, and we did a good job with it. I wouldn't call it like not by far like the best in the world. Again, like I'm saying, like this male friendships one is fantastic. This one really stands out to me. But so not like deep philosophical thoughts like that one was, but it was a fun time. We had a good panel of guys. It was just funny. And let's see now. Episode 15 on internalizing the red pill. This was a good one too. Sixer came back for this one. I like to have him on every, I don't know, a month or so. He's a good guy. We've been friends for a long time, and he sees the world in a very similar way that I do. So it's always nice to have our ideas bounce back off of each other and everything. So yeah, good topic. Kind of internalizing, leveling up from your failures and getting good in the game of love and the game of pickup and everything like this. And there's some good stuff that we discussed in this one. This one was fun. Let's see, Tales of the Game 6, a rant. This one, kind of an experimental show, I guess, kind of like insider baseball in this one. I just wanted to see, if I could kind of just monologue basically for, an extended period of time by myself and see how that went. I think it was okay. I haven't listened back to the stream at all since I recorded it, so I have no idea if it's even sounds any good on the replay or anything like that. But I don't know, maybe I'll give it another listen and come back to it. But I think it was okay. I seem to recall I brought up some decent points, but I don't know. I wanted to see if I could do good at a monologue style show. Obviously, it's something that we still got to work on, but yeah, it's work in progress. Let's see. Coming to the end here, only like the last 2 months here of the year. Episode 16, Waiting for Caesar. Not Me, Not You came back again for that one. I think it was just the two of us for that stream. It might have been a third guest. I don't remember, but that one wasn't bad. That was good. Obviously we were tackling the issue of like, so many people in our circles talk about like, when's Caesar going to come and everything like this. Yeah, it was a good show. I enjoyed that one. But I don't know. I'd still kind of rank it in the middle of the pack, on that one, and let's see, 7 guys to the front. This right here, even though I was saying that Male Friendships is the best Man's Hour episode of the year, this by far, miles and bounds, is the best Tales of the Game episode. Absolutely is. And then this might actually even be the best video on the entire channel this year. This is extremely important stuff and very, very educational for you guys. Guys Without Frame and what they do. It's a play on Wine More Please. He put out a post under the same name on the old Red Pill forums and everything like that, and it's a must read. I actually linked the piece in the description of this right here. But basically, what it was is that sometimes you guys will see this on my Twitter and everything like this. Is that me and a bunch of other of the Red Pill guys will just fire jabs back and forth at each other, or we will fire jabs at like some anon account that's saying something stupid. And we all just dogpile on them to teach everybody else in the audience a lesson. And that's basically what I was doing, breaking down this stuff. This thinking back, I have one critique of this one. Again, I think I should have done a better job of pulling up the individual tweets like in tabs ready to go, as opposed to looking around for them. But either way, this one's got some extremely good lessons in here, very educational. And in my opinion, I don't know. I think that male friendships one is still probably my favorite though, but this one is definitely a close second for sure. This one's really, really good. Let's see, Miss Legends and the Hero's Journey. Again, this is a very good one. This is a fun one. Wasn't super popular, this one for some reason. Thought it was a really good topic and actually one of the better thumbnails. You see like the thumbnail game kind of gets a little bit better as we go on. But yeah, this was a good one. Semigog was on there, and TR Hudson came on here, and I think Raging Mandrill was on that one as well. Yeah, I think that's what the three was. TR Hudson, of course, is an author himself, so he gave us some good insights there. And Semigog, being one of the more unique thinkers in our sphere, definitely had some great things to contribute on that one. So go check out that one if you haven't yet. And then I had episode 18, Dude Bros and Personal Finance. I had Chad Elkins on. Yeah, the good the man himself. So we were on there basically talking about personal finances and the accounting business, which is what he's in, tax accounting specifically. So, giving like personal finance tips, and as well as career opportunities if guys are looking into that. And this is just a chill stream back and forth between me and Chad. This one, there's nothing there's nothing like super revolutionary going on in this one. There's nothing like to really, really write home on or anything like that. But this one was just a solid, solid stream. We covered some good topics and stuff that is just applicable to everyday life. If you guys want to find like a good paying job and a good paying career, Chad is the man to look for sure. And then definitely check out his channel. He does weekly streams similar to me. And sometimes you guys will see me kicking it around in his chat and making fun of him along with everybody else, because, he puts out good value. And then episode 20 on No Nut November, Rob Says and Ryan Stone came on for that one. This is the stream I had the most fun on the entire year, I think. Actually, I don't know, maybe Nerd Culture. That one was a really fun one too, but I had a lot of fun on both of these streams back and forth. We're definitely in the groove at this point. We're comfortable with the show. The audio issues are all fixed. The thumbnails, I think we're getting better. We're having good conversations. We're having good topics. It's a good flow. Yeah, definitely found my stride here at this point for sure. So this is a fantastic and very fun conversation with Ryan Stone, who's definitely one of my favorite guys in the entire manosphere. He does some excellent work for sure. You guys should definitely be listening to his stuff. He's got a new book coming out in January here. I'm going to review it for sure because I really enjoyed his first book that he wrote. So I'll definitely be giving his new book a read, and it's supposed to be really, really good from everyone I've been hearing. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we basically just talked about No Nut November and semen retention and all these other things that people are ripping on and everything. So that was a good one. And then of course Rob Says came on about halfway through that show, and he's a great guy too. He's got some good insights, got some good takes. He's fun to talk to. So absolutely, that was a good one. 2021 or episode 21, male hobbies. This is also like kind of like a experimental stream. I was busy as hell, and because it's like around the holidays and everything, and I just had 6 around, and we kind of just played some Pokemon back and forth on that one, kind of like a gaming stream. And I don't know, it was okay, but to be honest, I think this is probably one of the worst episodes we did, for the simple fact that the conversation was kind of bad because we were kind of just playing the game back and forth with each other. We weren't really talking that much. We were kind of just playing games. So I don't know. uh, I mean, next year I'm going to do my poker streams. So like I'm going to do poker streams at least twice a month. So I think that those will work better because I'm not focusing so much on the game and everything like that, and there's going to be a lot more downtime, so a lot more time for talking. So as much fun it is to play Pokemon with my buddy and just talk topics back and forth, as a listening experience, I don't think this one was very good. So, lesson learned on that one. And then let's see, one of the more recent shows, Jack Napier, of course, or Jack Napier knows he's a good guy. And then Governor Megatron. You guys have absolutely seen us dicking around on Twitter for sure. If you follow me on there, you'll see me and all both of those guys. And we just this one was really, really fun too. I'd say if I was going to say top three, I would absolutely put Male Friendships number one. It was a very, very good episode. I think I'd put number two would be the No Nut November, and number three is probably Nerd Culture. Those are all really, really good ones. Nerd Culture, we just chilled for basically an hour and 10 minutes, talking about, the nerdy stuff that we like to do. Talk about how it's not remotely an issue like it was back in the day for picking up chicks and everything like that. We talked about, how the woman will like even play games with you these days, and it's not that difficult to get them to do because basically everyone has grown up with games at this point. We were talking about how there's like a certain segment of TradCons that like rip on guys for like collecting action figures or some shit or like some nerdy hobbies. So we were ripping on them a little bit for a ridiculous position. So yeah, just a fun chill stream with three guys who, it, for three guys that just are into nerd culture basically, and still get laid, no issues. So that was a fun one. That was a good one. And those were two guys I wanted to have on the show for a really long time. And it was fun because Jack just recently came back to Twitter because he got resurrected in the Elon unbanning spree. So that was nice to, get him back on there. Not a very popular one though, surprisingly. I mean, only 280 views. There should definitely be way more on that one. I mean, for God's sake, guys, how many nerds are in the sphere? Come on. Should definitely be listening to this one. And then of course, last week was the Christmas special. A couple things I would have done more differently on this one. I'm not sure if I'll do a Christmas one specifically for next year because I think people kind of got tuckered out at the end of the week with appearing on everybody else's Christmas shows, and like Millennial is obviously going on at the same time, so people are busy with that. So maybe next year we'll have a bigger audience. We can have more people on there and everything like that. But I think as I was mentioning earlier, the last half hour or 25 minutes or so of this stream, we talked about Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit and all those guys, and had some good talks. Just basically like, I guess you would call it like the anger phase and the different factions in the manosphere. So there's some good stuff that was happening in this stream. But of course, we were also just talking about Die Hard and other Christmas season specials and everything like this. But yeah, so I guess if I was to grade everything as it relates to the content for this year, I think the sleeper one is probably Westerns. I think that one's one that should definitely have way more views than it does. There's definitely some good stuff going on in there. First Date was very good. Let's see. As I mentioned, Male Friendships, definitely the best one of the year by far. Let's see. Going through here. Guys Without Frame, definitely the best video I've done the entire year. So definitely go check that one out. And then Nerd Culture, No Nut November. They definitely get better as they go, for sure. There's definitely more hits than there are misses, the further along we go. So that's it for the YouTube stuff. So yeah, I guess we go top three would be Nerds, No Nut, and then number one is Male Friendship, with the best one of the best video of the entire year is definitely Tales of the Game number 7 for sure. So definitely go check those out if you haven't already. Really, really important stuff in there. And then I guess we'll just do the same thing with the Substack real quick. Definitely, you pretty much have to read the 3 hunting ones back to back to back because they're like one cohesive story going through each chapter here. So basically, you have the very beginning chapter, basically about getting to camp and getting everything set up and tactics and everything. Then you have Concept of Danger. We're basically talking about driving around in the Jeep, looking for buffalo herds and everything like this. And then the Night Hunters starting the hunt for the African leopard. So Yeah, there's definitely some good stuff in here for sure. Amazing memories. I'm going to continue to be writing more and more on these for sure as we keep going. So if you aren't subbed to the Substack Son of Orion, definitely do so. Let's see here. We've got hmm. Yeah, the Good Feminism was the first like really like big hitting political piece that I did of the year. This one is the most viewed one by far. I think it has like this one went very very viral. It got like a 250,000 views on Twitter. The actual article itself, I think it has 10K views on it last time I checked. This is definitely the biggest one I've done the entire year. It got retweeted from a lot of really influential people. Jeff Dice from the Mises Institute, oddly enough, I retweeted this one and followed me as a result of it, and a bunch of other people, obviously in the community. I think actually BAP even read this one and made a comment on it back on his secret account. Now that he's got his old account back on Twitter. So yeah, very very good one in there. The 3 hunting ones, obviously. No-go zones. This was kind of like an experimental one I just threw out there. This was kind of like I think it was like 10 red flags or maybe 20 red flags. I forget on like some of the things I look for, like in chicks and everything like this. I thought this one was okay. I was definitely writing way, way more when this thing first came out, but then I got more serious into doing the YouTube stuff back in June. Early June was when the Man's Hour first launched. So I wasn't doing any of the video stuff yet. So I was kind of just focusing more on writing at the beginning of the year here. And then obviously I started writing for Old Glory Club, which, the my piece that I've done for them, The Great Resignation, that one's a really, really good one. And then I will also be making an appearance on Pete Quinones' show to talk about that one. So that might actually release by the time the show releases on Thursday. So if you guys haven't listened to the show I did with Pete, go check that out, because we dissect my article I wrote for Old Glory Club, and that was a good stream. We delved into some pretty good topics that I think a lot of people might be missing in the topic of college enrollments and participation in the labor force from young men and stuff like that. So we definitely discussed some good stuff in there. And then Not Me, Not You actually wrote a guest piece on here, What to Do with Our Warriors. And this was a good one. He's a good writer. He gave a great speech earlier in the year at the U.S. Shieldings event. It was one of my personal favorites at that event. And so he's got good oratory skills for sure. The man knows how to write. So definitely check this one out. There's some good points in there. And then the other 2 pieces on here, Bring Chivalry to a Hoe Fight and Right-Wing Feminism. Let's see now. This right-wing feminism piece, got a lot of hate, as a lot of these pieces tend to do when I'm writing these kinds of things. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see a lot of like the same arguments I make on Twitter are just summed up in here. Basically, a lot of the issues of like the trad view of where our problems come from as it relates to male and female dynamics, I sum up in here. And then basically the same point is kind of made in Bring Chivalry to a Hoe Fight. But basically, you don't really need to read this one if you read this one, because kind of the same points are basically made, and they're much more articulately put in this one. So let's see. Yeah, so that's basically it for the my own personal content this year. Just off the top of my head, some of the streams that I made an appearance on this year that really stick out in my head, if you guys haven't seen them, I would say, well, at the beginning of the year, I did a cigar stream on AA's channel with Birdie. We did like a feminism versus, red pill debate. That one was fun. Do I think that one was super, I guess you would call it educational and not just blood sports? Meh. I mean, there's some good points in there and everything like this, but honestly, that one's probably behind the paywall at this point anyway, so not everybody can go back and watch that one. I mean, I've obviously made maybe like a half a dozen appearances on Unpopular Opinions this year on AA's channel, so obviously you can go check out those for all your current events and rank punditry stuff. Let's see what else. I guess I'll just round out the rest of my appearances for AA show. I mean, we did a cigar stream a couple weeks back with Praise of Folly and Sargon of Akkad. He came on there. And I went on Jay Burden's show last week, and we were talking about the same thing. I wasn't too impressed with that cigar stream, the most recent one with AA and Sargon, because the conversation just got very frustrating. It was just diluted into places I didn't want to go with the topic, and we kind of got sidetracked into, like word games, for lack of a better word. And it's just not what we set out to do in that discussion. So I wasn't entirely happy with that one, but it happens. So not everything you ever going to do is going to, hit 100%, it's just the nature of the beast. So, and then I think my favorite thing that I did this year, I guess there's two that really stick out in my mind that I did with AA. Right when I wrote my piece, the good feminism on Substack, I got a lot of traction, got a lot of hate from the Women's Hour crew, and there was a Women's Hour stream dedicated specifically to that Substack piece that I wrote. And, so of course I got a lot of hate. And then AA and I did a stream on his AA Gold channel. If you guys don't know about that, you can go check that out. We kind of did like a breakdown of the Substack piece, and I thought that was really, really good. It was like maybe 2.5 hours long or something like that. We broke down, the main points, the arguments, and what I was trying to say and everything. And I think that one was really, really good. And then also, how can I not mention my personal favorite? I think was probably the deepest lore that we did on Looney Tunes. It was like 3.5 hours long, and I loved that stream. I was asking AA for like 2 months. I was like, "Hey, when are we gonna do this stream? Are we gonna do this? Please can we do this? This is gonna be a lot of fun." Because as you guys know, I'm a huge, huge, huge Looney Tunes nerd, and it was very, very fun for me, and brought me great deals of joy to see positive comments and people in the chat and everything like that afterwards. 20,000 people watched that stream or something like that, just saying like, "Oh wow, all these fun facts about Looney Tunes and the history of it and the characters and everything like this." And I hope that I got a lot of people to check out Warner Brothers, the golden age of like cartoons from like I still think the golden age is like from 47 to like 57. I think that a 10-year period, just everything that was coming out of Warner Brothers lot, Termite Terrace was just, on fire. There were so many good and memorable cartoons in there. So if I got some new guys into Looney Tunes, that makes all the hate and everything and all the backlash from trads totally worth it as far as I'm concerned. So let's see, what else? What are the big shows? Let's see. Also off the top of my head, the stream that Ryan Stone and I did on Geo's Content Minded channel, that was great too. We delved in to some very deep topics on that one. Kind of like got down to the root of the what the red pill is, and praxeology and all these kinds of things, and just kind of like laying out Ryan and like my position and Ryan's position on like where we are, where we're going, how we got here, how we differ from like trads on solutions and things of that nature. Yeah, for sure. So definitely go check that out. Gio's a great guy. That was probably like the big podcast guest appearance I did this year. That was back in August, I think, if I checked it out. But yeah, it's definitely some great stuff there. I went on Dave's show, the Distributist, did that one earlier this year as well. I thought that conversation went very, very well. I know Dave and I have had our sniping sessions back and forth on Twitter and everything, and we definitely disagree on a number of things. But I thought that conversation was very productive, and I enjoyed that one. In a similar vein, with Jay Burden, the show I went on, was it 2 weeks ago now or last week? I don't remember. They all run together at this point. Kind of in the same vein as that discussion I had with Dave. That one went very, very well as well. So I would definitely go recommend that. And then I think that's the really, really big ones that are standing out to me. I mean, I went on Red Evening, Jack Napier's Red Evening in Rob Says a couple weeks back. That was really, really fun. I've been on Rob Says' channel a couple times. Went on Vince from the Masculine Geeks. So that was really fun too. The Christmas Eve stream we just did a couple days ago, I was on there with the Masculine Geeks. That was a lot of fun as well. We just talk. I love these kinds of like red pill, like manosphere streams where you get like these groups of guys in the same room together of all various different ages, and it's really cool stuff listening to like older guys that are like in their 50s talk to like the younger guys like myself or Jack Napier or somebody who's like late 20s, early 30s, just talking about like how things have changed, how things are different, like everybody's, it really just goes back to the actual like core of what the red pill is and the manosphere is, and what the genuine purpose of this space is, back to the very beginning. And it really just is guys swapping notes, and it's it's just what those streams were, whether I was on Rob Says channel, or when I was on Red Evening, or when I was on with the Masculine Geeks. It really just is like, a pure masculine space with everybody, making fun of each other, making jokes. But, we're also, there's some like really, really good wisdom in there as well. And some really, really good, masculine moments and stuff that I really, really enjoy. So definitely check those out. And then I guess the last thing I will say about the other big thing that went on this year, of course, was the various, events that we had. I mean, back in February, of course, we had the Shieldings event earlier this year, which was, a lot of fun. Of course, I mean, got to meet all the guys in the space, Turnip and Radlib and and Charlemagne and Paul Fahrenheit and Not Me Not You and Prudentialist and Yiz and all the guys in our space. Dave, met Dave there as well. But it was very, very good. Definitely come to the event next year. We'll have more details about that one coming up in the future here. But it was good to see that we can get a group of like 100 guys in our space all in one room. The speech I gave was the shortest of everybody at the event. My speech was only maybe 15 minutes. I kind of like tag teamed it with Yiz. It kind of went up for 15 minutes and had Yiz go up for 15 minutes. And we kind of did like a double Q&A afterwards. I mean, what I really didn't want to do at the event was kind of just go in there and like preach Red Pill 101, because it's not what we were there to do. We were there to navigate the ruins. For those of you that got the event book, will know. You can read my speech there. That's written down in the book. But yeah, it was. I kind of just talked about a general concept of manhood and what we're looking forward to and what we could do in the times to come. And then I think I don't entirely know if I'll do a speech next year. If I do something, I think I want to do a Man's Hour Live, like a panel show. I don't know if I will personally give myself a speaking slot, because I'm not entirely convinced that like Red Pill and Manosphere Topics belong on like a big stage like that at one of those events. I'm not positive, but you know what? I'll have to think about it a little bit more about what I want to talk about if I decide to do a solo speech. I think I would probably be more productive just having a Man's Hour Live panel of people at the next event. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. I just think it fits the atmosphere way better to have like something different from lectures from a bunch of other people on very deep philosophical or theological topics. I think switching things up with a panel show, to kind of like break the the flow of everything. I just think that would go better with that, but I'll have a talk with the organizers, of course, and see how that goes. And then I guess the last thing to announce, of course, is the foundation of the Old Glory Club. We launched back in November, just before the midterms, and we've been doing some good stuff there. Obviously, we've putting out our weekly live streams and our 2 articles a week and everything like that. And of course, I've written for them, and many of our other guys have, and appeared on many streams, and we're putting out some great work, and we've got big plans, for the future here. So yeah, I guess that's it. I'm just gonna wrap this up here. That's basically the year in review, 2022, God, it's just, looking at this, talking for like 50 minutes here, there's been a lot, for sure. I mean, I've been a busy guy, so, but I'm not slowing down. By no means am I slowing down here. We got big plans for next year, whether it relates to the events, whether it relates to Old Glory Club stuff, whether it relates to my own show, whatever it relates to writing stuff for Substack, or, Man's Hour content, Tales of the Game, Tales of the Great Outdoors. There's all kinds of great stuff coming down the pipeline here. So stick around, absolutely. And, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Substack, follow the Old Glory Club. Subscribe to the channel, share it with all your friends. We are, let me look at the list here. We are 70, actually, wait a minute, game wants to start. 69, perfect number, amazing. Couldn't have even planned this better. 69 subscribers away from 1,000. So definitely share the channel, because when we get to 1,000, we can monetize, of course, which will be very, very helpful. But yeah, man, thanks a lot, guys. This is fantastic. So it's great that we've got a great audience here, and we're not slowing down. We got big stuff coming up. So thanks for joining me, fellas. And of course, have a great new year, and I will see you